Today, I would like to talk about the fight for women's right to vote. A widespread opposition came from the women of all walks of the society. When suffragists, that means the people who were fighting for the women's right to vote, were traveling across New York to build support ahead of Constitutional Convention, when lawmakers would decide if the word male should be removed from the wording of the state constitution. Until then, the movement to oppose suffrage was dominated by men. There were multiple reasonings they tried to push forward. I will get to that in a minute. I want to mention only this one to start with. The Omaha Association opposed women's right to vote, saying voters are required to serve on juries. That means women would be compelled to hear all the repugnant details incident to murder trials and trials for all other crimes disclosing unspeakable wickedness. Jury service is abhorrent to every normal woman. That was not only men's perspective. Women actively joined the opposition movement for women's right to vote. They mobilized committees, circulated petitions, and created associations to oppose the women's right to vote in New York and Massachusetts. Thousands of women joined that opposition movement. Carrie Chapman Catt wrote in a letter that only about a third of women supported suffrage. Another third was opposed, and the rest didn't care either way. Though in public she claimed that most women wanted to vote. Anti-suffragists included the female professionals like educationalists, journalists, and social activists. What were the reasons for the professional women to oppose the voting rights for women? These are few points. Number one, some women felt they have a sheltered and valued position in the household. If they're included in the public process, that would break the family bond. Participating in the voting process would disrupt their role as wives and mothers. 2. The distrust in women's ability to make important decisions like choosing the leader of the country because they were perceived in ignorant and uninformed. Number 3. Some women argued becoming part of the process would undermine the women's power as moral authorities. Catherine Beecher, as advocate for women's education, argued that women were most effective when they united to press their fathers, brothers, and husbands for reforms in terms that arose above dirty partisan politics. As an evidence, she pointed to her sister, whose Uncle Tom's Cabin contributed to anti-slavery sentiment. Some women pointed out that if women become more like men in public roles, it would threaten their special privileges, such as the right to be supported by their fathers and husbands, exemptions from jury duties and military services, and first tips on the lifeboats on sinking ships. When 19th Amendment had passed in the Congress that ensures women's right to vote, a New York Times article in September 1919 captured a very funny contradicting messages in the offices of the National Anti-Suffrage Association. On one wall it said, politics are bad for women and women are bad for politics. On the other wall, there was a sign urging members to register to vote. Eventually, the women who were against women's right to vote were using their voting power to bring their conservative agenda forward. The fight wasn't male versus female. Enough number of men and women joined the fight for women's right to vote, and enough number of men and women were against the cause. It works the same today whenever it comes to a fight for women's right. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe to stay tuned. Thank you so much.